Buenos Dias Gunners Collective. Back at it, you already know. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. I said another one. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. This another one. Guard. Ba-ba-ba. I said ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba. Bye-up. Bye-up. What it is, you can tell by the thumbnail right there, the Perro Chatos are at it again, allegedly, right? The Fresno Bulldogs, 559's most vicious, right? So what they're saying is, word on the curb is yesterday someone got downed in Selma. Something happened, an incident took place, and they're trying to point all eyes on me, all fingers in the direction of the Perro Chatos, the Fresno Bulldog street gang, right? When is it not the Fresno Bulldogs in that area? When do they not get fingers pointed at them and get alleged to do any crime that happens? If a vato steals a payday candy bar at the local Circle K, they did it. But we seen you in the bathroom. It wasn't me, dog. Seen you in the counter. It wasn't me, dog. Seen you in the, you know what I mean? It wasn't me. But they're saying it was. Now, I got some inside information because that's what I do. You know, my investigative tactics are up to par. And one thing I will say in a menudo style in direct fashion is a little homie got at me last night and gave me a little bit of extensive history on the suspect in this case. Now, for those of you that don't know what happened in Selma, Selma is a small city in Fresno County that has a lot of Perro Chatos, a lot of Fresno Bulldogs, county dogs, you know, ones that participate in what it is to be participated in. Yesterday, an officer down, you know, an unfortunate event. You know, things happen, you know, the officers are there to protect and serve the people of the community against crime, against whatever could happen, but it's a dangerous job. You know, everyone knows it's a dangerous job when, you know, you choose to become an officer and to enforce the street laws or the laws in general, period. Anything can happen at any given time. Everyone knows domestic issues and things of that nature, even pulling someone over. You can find yourself in a bad situation, or it could just happen like that. Unfortunate, I say, because no one wants to be caught up. Everybody loses. The families lose, the wives, the children, and of course the perpetrator's family loses as well, because they're going to lose a son or a daughter or whoever does something like this act forever. That's it. So Rapalaski, gone. See you later. Hasta la bye-bye. Never to be seen or heard from again unless it's through a letter, a huila, or behind glass. Now, it's an ugly situation all the way around. But what led up to it is the real story. Now, I'm not going to use this individual's last name because it hasn't been put out there yet by, of course, the Fresno Police Department or the Selma Police Department. But we'll just call him Nathaniel, a young Perro Chato. Now, this is the alleged shooter in this incident. This is not the guy who concrete facts did this, get him. No. This is the alleged guy who they arrested for in the vicinity, who they're saying did this. Now, you got to understand, things are corrupt, man. It could be pinned on certain people from one agenda or another. I have no knowledge of what's going on behind the scenes. One thing I do know for sure is this is the guy that they arrested for it. His name's not out there, so I'm not going to put it out there other than Nathaniel. A young guy. You know, a young guy that seems to be having turmoil with his family and they're not seeing eye to eye because of his affiliations or what he chooses to do. Now, I went through the same things in life. You know, you want to go hang out with your homeboys and kick back. And if you have a good familia that's not with that program and they want you to work and do good, man, my family said I should have did good. I knew better. Orderly Prezi, I knew better, but you didn't do better. You want to go out there in the guys and hang with the homeboys and run around and think you're somebody and be that somebody. Now, some people develop into somebody. Some people don't. Okay, knowledge you can't get in college. Some people just want to be a hang-around, homes. They want to hang around just to hang around. And some people take the initiative to want to gain that respect and want to make that street life their familia. And it becomes like that. And then there's things that you have to do for that family that you necessarily wouldn't do with your other family. Facts. But this kid, you know, a 23-year-old man, you know, eventually, after not seeing eye to eye with his family, he gets kicked out and heads to the streets and to the gang that embraces him, that shows him love. A lot of people, it's the same old love song and the same old story. When you have nobody to guide you, you know, you go to get guidance from wherever you can. And the streets, hey, think it, come here, hey, we got you. Guard! I said, we got him. You know what I mean? And vatos get you. And now once their claws or their dog paws are sunk into you, homes, there's nothing you could do. Now, if you're a righteous homeboy and you're really kicking it and you gain that respect, well, then your perros or your homeboys or camaradas are going to fuck with you on that level. You know, that's just what it is. This guy was well known in his area and was respected. Now, this guy had just been released from Soledad prison after doing time on some robbery charges and some possession for sale charges. And that was his business. Whatever they caught him up for allegedly and he done time for, he did it. Now, he did just get released recently from Soledad prison and was on parole or felony probation. And when you're doing that, and I've went through that several times, it took me 20-something years to shake the tail, right? From probation to parole to back on probation to back to on parole. It's a hard tail to shake. If you want to go back in the calles and hang out with your homeboys, that's a violation. They're going to get you for associated with known criminals or known validated gang members. You could get street gang validated. All kinds of things happen. There's nothing you could do if you wear certain colors that you're not supposed to wear. Basically, if you're on parole probation, the best thing for you to do is just get a job, an old lady, and kick back at home and go to work and back and forth, and that's it, homie. If you're going to be out there in the streets running with them thugs, I'll be waiting for you. Ain't no one going to be waiting for you. She's too busy with Tyrone. And you're out there running with the thugs. Well, you're going to get what you got. This guy obviously decided to go run with the thugs. He decided to, hey, forget parole. I'm a soldier. Soaked up game from a young to a BG. I'm saying I'm begging and putting it down for 29. Oh, the SIBO. He decided, who cares about parole or probation? I'm going to go out there and kick it with my dogs, right? He did that. Now, when you're out there kicking it and you're associating yourself with crime and street gangs, what's going to happen? Well, I'm going to tell you what comes with that. More crime, more gang members. If you're out there doing it like that, well, you're going to get what you got. The streets are relentless, homes. The streets are not a nice place to be on if you're not supposed to be on them. You have to act a certain way, especially in the Fresno County area, a very grimy, treacherous area where if you're not up to par, not up on game, homes, you're going to get swallowed up by the game or bit by a whole bunch of bulldogs because they're everywhere. That's their area. And ain't nothing scarier than seeing a whole bunch of vatos all tatted down walking down the street with some pit bull terriers. It's different. Now, this guy had just got out of Soledad. This is the alleged shooter. Again, I say alleged because I don't want to put nothing on this plate that isn't already there. And he found himself caught up and on the run for a whole bunch of crime. Whether he committed or not, I don't know. But they were pointing in his direction. Again, fingers get pointed all the time. And so he was on the run. Now, this man decided he couldn't turn to his family because his family already didn't agree with what he was doing. And I agree with that. I can see where it's like, if you want to go out there, homes, and you want to run amok, you want to go out there and you want to be that, go be that outside of my home. See, in houses, there's rules. In my home, there's rules. Take your shoes off, Esse. Hey, homes, but you know how long it took me. I don't care, homes, because you got eagle claws. Cut your toenails, Esse. Take your shoes off because you're not going to bring all that mierda out of my house and track it everywhere, right? Another thing, what? I control the TV. What? You mean we can't watch Jerry Springer? Charlie, homes, we're watching Maury. I am not the father. You feel me? That's just what it is. There's rules to everyone's household. So if his family was not agreeing with him gangbanging and being in the mix like that, then of course, man, it's called separation. Now, people get separation anxiety. I want to be around my family. I'm anxious, right? So they go be with who they're going to be with. And of course, again, like I say, with that comes street tactics. So this guy was on the run for certain things that I don't want to speak on because they're all allegedlys. And maybe he felt like that was it. Maybe he felt like I had no one else to turn to, and that was, it was what it was. So the word on the curb is, according to what the officers have put out there, I'm not going to speak on any inside information when it comes to anything like this, because I don't do that. I'm not here to assist anyone in their investigation. That's on them. The officers were called because there was a suspicious man in the vicinity of this area in Selma. When the officer did pull up, shots rang out, and this individual took off running. Whether he did this or he didn't do it, I don't know. I wasn't the cucaracha on the ground crawling through the streets of Fresno to see it, right? Or Selma. But one thing I do know is for sure is it was an officer down moment. Other authorities got called. Of course, this guy was apprehended not far down the street. Now, it sounds like the same old story. The reason I wanted to tell this story is a young man that you see is leaning the wrong way or hanging out with his friends and you're his family, you need to grab him and bring him back to you. I know you don't want that stuff in your household. I know if someone's going wrong, it's hard to change their mentality. Believe me, no one could have changed mine when I was young. They told me over and over again, don't do it, baboso. I did it. Hey, stop it already. I started. It's a red light. It's a green light. I was gone. So I understand when people try to tell you something, you're not adhering to it. You're not acknowledging it. Acknowledge me, right? You're just doing what you do. It's hard to get through to someone who's hard-headed and their mind is made up. Could have this youngster been saved? Could his familia saved him? I don't want to put that on his family's plate. It seems like they try to do everything they can do. When it's a broken relationship, there's no healing there. If someone doesn't bow down like the West Side Connect, if someone doesn't take the initiative to say, you know what, Spencer, we were wrong. You know, we love you that much that we want to help you, not hurt you. That's when a healing process starts. That's when someone has to accept it. You know, if I had a child and my child was a gang member or chose to go on the streets and do that, I would have no choice but to accept it, but at the same time, try to correct it relentlessly and continuously. I would never give up, because that's what a parent does. You never give up, because then your kid finds himself accused of doing something this heinous and this criminal, and it's over. Now, let me tell you about the city of Merced, just because the wind's blowing. There was an officer involved shooting an Officer Gray back in the days. His name was Officer Gray. And this guy, a lot of people used to trip off him because the word on the curb was he wasn't as straight and narrow as people thought. There was a lot of stories going on about he had crooked intentions and did crooked things. Crooked, right? Say nights. Now, I don't know them to be true because I never had no interaction with this guy as far as any of these willings and dealings, but it seemed like a lot of the Crips out of Merced did. He was the type alleged to lock you up and then go get a mamon from your old lady. He was the type to, pull up on your old lady, knock on the door. Excuse me, ma'am, can I talk to you? Why, sure. Oh, are those booty shorts you're wearing? Anyways, your husband, he has court on Monday. Today's Saturday. I'm not doing anything today. You don't look like you're doing anything today. You want to go eat at a Mexican restaurant. You know what I mean? And next thing you know, I'll make sure he gets out by Tuesday, right? And that's it. These were what people were alleging, amongst other things. And eventually someone got frustrated, and I'm not going to say his name, man. He's now, he was sitting on death row. I don't know where he's at anymore, somewhere in the California Department of Corrections system. But he was alleged to have took this guy off the Mizat. Right now, that was a big deal in the city of Merced. We had never had an officer down at that point in time. Smaller city, smaller things happen, but at the end of the day, it does wiggle. The wiggleization is real in the town. And I remember back in them days, man, it was all out war. There was actually in the Merced Sun-Star, which is the newspaper, there was actually a picture, man, that said that gang, the Merced Gangster Crip gang, was actually on life support in the city of Merced. They were on. Okay? When stuff like this happens, they're on you, Holmes. And they're not going to just take it out on the person that's alleged to have done this or the person they know who did this, but they're going to take it out on all his associates, any of his known associates, and anyone around him, because they're not playing. Okay? That's a fact. So with the perro chatos, I say this without saying too much. The wind's blowing. You know what I mean? In a minute, we'll stop. Be aware. Be aware that you will feel the repercussions for the actions of one youngster, right? Allegedly. Now, whether this guy did it or not, or it's just getting pinned on him, I've seen it. I've seen it where things happen, man. And the first guy in the vicinity, he's just walking, he's doing a foster freeze. He's licking an ice cream cone. That motherfucker's like, bomb, too. Right? He's getting his lick on. And next thing you know, get on the ground. Spencer Latira. I didn't do nothing. I'm a bulldog. I said, no, I don't care what you are, right? That's even better. And then they snatch you up. Now, this guy does have a bulldog on his face, as you can see by the thumbnail, a dog paw, and several other tattoos indicating that he's affiliated or associated with the bulldog. I'm not saying he is one, but that's what they're saying. But at the same time, one thing is for sure, that's even better, because if you know Fresno like I know Fresno, and I know Fresno, there's been an ongoing guerra between, the administration, we'll call them, and the perro chatos. They've been trying to eradicate the perro chatos and using every tactic to do it to get them off the map. Now, when two entities like this are at guerra or they're not seeing eye to eye, it's a dangerous situation for everyone involved, because people can get crimes pinned on them. And when you're messing with the man's freedom, you're messing with his life, he might as well go all out. I mean, that's what happens. That's what it seems like happened here. Well, this kid was approached, allegedly, by this officer. Maybe this officer was innocent, just didn't, someone called me, I said, I didn't call you, right? Pulled up just to see what was going on, and shots rang out. It happens, It's an unfortunate event all the way around. As being a brown member of the community, I hate, and it's tragic when an officer loses his life. I don't condone it. I don't like it. They're just doing their pinche job. He's just doing his job. He's, says, yeah, if your car gets broken into, who you going to call? Not Ghostbusters, that's it, right? You're going to call them. If you're a citizen, then there's no rules and regulations on top of your head that's saying that you can't, someone breaks into your pad. Hey, it was a black rock door, stole everything. He went to my DVD player and said, orderly, you don't got a fire stick? No, it's not jailbroken, right? Let me tell you, it gets ugly. And guard, this button was better than everyone. He better watch out before me and him. And gang, you know what I mean? He's going to find himself on the short end of a long stick. Bang, bang. One thing I do know is for sure, and it's facts, this youngster, man's life has changed drastically and dramatically. He's going to go through some motions. He's going to sit down in the county jail. Yes, he's going to be a lightweight celebrity. But do you think he's going to go in there with 2 eyes not swollen? Oh, no. Said Julio, right? It's going to be an ugly ordeal. Hopefully this kid is able to get his mind right so that he may shine right. Hopefully, man, and I'm not saying that he did this again. It's all alleged. Hopefully he's able to overcome this separation anxiety with his family. Hopefully his family is there to support him as they should. Again, I'm not using last names, so I'm not putting the familia on blast, nor him on blast. It's just a bad thing all the way around. And it's and the victim in this situation, man, his family, my condolences to you and yours. It's shocking. It has to be shocking, when you leave to work and your old lady makes you a tuna salad sandwich and says, yeah, you never come home to get it. It's just bad. I'm not here to make fun of nothing because it's just a whole lot of loss in this situation. But it happens. And I want to exclusively bring you some of the inside details into the background of this alleged individual they're saying who done it. Why it was done? Now, that's not for me to speak on. Was there a point being made here? One never knows, does one? Did he have an agenda or did he set out to do this? I can't call it like an alcoholic. But one thing I do know is for sure is it was done, regardless if he meant to do it or didn't, or if he did or didn't. I don't know. There's no way around it. I'm trying to walk the thin line between love and hate, but you understand what I'm saying? Again, man, respects to everyone involved in this case. It is what it is. It's an unfortunate event. Shout outs and respects to the Perro Chatos. Keep holding it down, man. Keep doing what you does, cuz, like I said, I got a lot of love and respect for what they got going on. And for the victim, Spence on la tira, man. It's cold. It's a cold game. With that being said, gente, I hope that you move smooth with a purpose and that you get everything that you want coming to you. Remember, at the end of the day, I don't condone these stories. I don't condone crime. I don't condone being a vigilante. I don't condone going out there and doing anything. Take your ass to work, Holmes. Go to Chuck E. Cheese. Take your kids to Chuck E. Cheese on Saturdays. Roll the balls, I said. And then take your ass home and relax, Let the rhymes tax maintain MCs by the doubly max. And if you can, get a good old mom on. If you can't, well, then Spence on la tira. Your old lady, she's all worn out. From Tyrone. You already know what it is. If you like this, hit that like and subscribe with your thumbs up. Notification bell's right there. If you touch it and press all notifications, you'll be notified of my latest videos. I drop one 7 days a week, every day. Spence on that line. Sometimes I take a day off, but hey, don't laugh, don't cough, just break mines off. And I'm not talking about wormy dogs. I said, if you know what I mean, or J-Los. With that being said, hit me with that thumbs down if you don't like me. Heavy's going to be the crown that I wear around me. And that's just what I'm going to do. I'm going to continue to strive and struggle for what I honestly and truly believe in. And that's the betterment of all people coming together and bringing you the best possible content I can on YouTube. Some of you don't like me. You know what I mean? Some of you don't like it. Depends on Latina. I did nothing bad to you. But at the end of the day, gracias for watching, for the view, for everything that you do for me. What have you done for me lately? Orale Janet. Miss Jackson, if you're nasty. The gun. Bang, bang. And in that fashion.